Alright, so we're going to set up our 2-post, 2-tiered keyboard rack. Now, just to go over what parts we have right here. I have two 30-inch straight bars, which are going to be the foundation. They're going to be our feet, 30-inch T-legs. Then we have two 43.5-inch vertical bars that are going to actually be the legs. We have a 36-inch straight bar, which is going to be our crossbar to connect the two legs together to make the frame. And then we have two 20-inch straight bars, and those are going to be our first tier support. Now, to keep the stand from moving left and right when you start getting heavyweight keyboards on, we add another support, another horizontal support to the stand to keep it from moving, and that's what the 40-inch curve bar is for. So those are the bars that we have. Now let's look over the clamps that we have. We have 3 T-clamps and 1 right angle clamp for the left side, and then we have 3 T-clamps and 1 right angle clamp for the right side. Now, all of these rubber feet up there, we're going to use, 2 of them are going to go on this 30-inch bar, the other 2 are going to go on this 30-inch bar, and then these 2 feet fit over the end, and these 2 rubber feet fit right over the middle of the bar, and those are what's going to support the bottom keyboard. And then, last but not least, we have the top tier keyboard mounting arms, so this is where the top tier of the keyboard will sit. So, you'll need 2 tools with you that'll help make your life a lot easier before you even start, and it's a drum key. Doesn't matter what kind of drum key it is, as long as it's a drum key, and then a level. This will really make your life a lot easier, and it will make your rig a lot more stable, and you won't have to worry about it after having to readjust it. You get it done the first time with a level. So, that being said, step 1, let's make the long T-legs. So I'm going to take my 30-inch bar, and I'm going to take a T-clamp, and I'm going to add it onto the 30-inch bar. For the first T-leg, I usually like to start with adding the clamp first before I actually put any feet on it, because now you see it's a flat surface, it'll stay up by itself. So then it allows me to take 2 feet and easily just put them flat on the ground, and they slide right over. So it's relatively straight. So now I'm going to put the back one and just put it on the ground, lift it up, and slide it right on. So you kind of have to adjust sometimes, but that's okay. As soon as you add the vertical and put everything together, it'll straighten itself out. So now let's do T-leg number 2. So we're going to add it. Now you don't want to tighten it all the way, because once you get the feet on, you want to make sure this is the same distance from the rubber foot as this is from this rubber foot. So anyways, now we're going to put the rubber feet on. Pair these up together. Make sure you line the 2 rubber feet up, and then we're going to lock it in place. So now we have our T-legs assembled. Now let's start adding the vertical bars to it. So I've got my 43.5-inch bar, and I place it right in the T-clamp. So once you get the bar in, take your memory lock at the bottom, and then lock it into place. So now let's put the second bar up. Okay, so we have our legs assembled. Now it's time to connect the top crossbar. So we're going to take our 36-inch bar and connect it to 2 verticals. And we're going to need a T-clamp for each side. So what I like to do is I place this at the top and make sure it's flush. This clamp is flush to the top of the tube, and then you lock it in place. And then you take the memory lock. I already have this memory lock preset, but it's the same process. Take the memory lock, slide it up, and then you lock the clamp in place. So now you've got this clamp already attached to this vertical. Then all you need to do is add the next clamp to the next vertical. It's the same process. Just make sure that the clamp goes flush to the top, and as long as the clamp is flush to the top of the tube, you'll have the horizontal bar level. So now it's time to add the crossbar. Okay, so once you have everything locked into place here. Once you have the clamp tightened down, just slide your memory lock over and then tighten it down. And then lock the memory lock into place. Now your basic frame of the stand is done. So now, the next step is to add the horizontal lower tier support arms. And to do that, what you're going to need is a right angle clamp. And that's this one right here. You attach it directly right onto the vertical bar. I have the memory lock already set on here. I would say don't tighten this memory lock down until you have the entire bottom tier set up, because you still have some adjusting to do to get the last bar on. I add a 20-inch bar to this T. I have it positioned the way that I already have the memory lock on there. Okay, so now take the right angle clamp, attach it to the vertical. You want to make sure that you can get these as close to the same height as possible. Then we take our 20-inch straight bar, we add it right up onto the remaining side of the clamp. Now the bottom tier support is complete. So now what we have to do is add our crossbar right here to prevent this from swaying back and forth when you get a really heavyweight keyboard on there. So that's what the last two clamps are for. This fits right over the end of this bar. It locks down, just like that. This T-clamp fit right over the end of the bar. So now, all that's left is adding the 40-inch curve. See, it's just as simple as that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we have the basic frame of the stand set up, and to finish it off, we just want to make sure that everything is level. So we get our trusty level, and we place it right on top. You know, by and large, as long as you have these two clamps flush to the top when you attach this bar, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be level. And this just makes sure you check that correctly. Just reinforces it. So then check this bar, and then you want to check on both ends as well, because it's a curved bar. If it's torqued a little bit, it's not gonna necessarily be level. So you need to pretend like it's laying on an imaginary tabletop right here. Okay, and then check the vertical level. All looks good. So now the last thing to do is to add the mounting platforms for the lower tier keyboard and the second tier keyboard. So we need one GRMF, which is a rubber mounting platform. This fits along the middle of the bar, and then one RF, which doesn't have a hole at the end of it, so it fits right over the end of the bar. Then we do the right side. Now our first tier is complete. Now we add the second tier. And there you have it. The two-post, two-tiered curved rack. And you can raise this as high or as low as you need to. For those of you that this might be a little too tall, I'm 6'2", and this is perfect for me. For those of you that might feel like this is a little uncomfortable height, you can always lower this top keyboard down. If you have a keyboard that is longer than where these poles come up, then you'll need to cut them down. Otherwise, if you've got a keyboard that is shorter, you can still just lower this down and then lower this the bottom tier down as well, so it's height adjustable.